באיכה Siman Gimel Pasuk Nesa levavenu Kapayim bashamayim. So there's the Pasuk. We'll lift up our hearts towards the heavens, or towards our palms, to the kale in the heavens. So Kapayim can also mean the heavens, like the clouds are, they're like in the story of Eliyahu Navi by the rain, when the rain finally came and he davened, so it says it was the cloud came kikaf ish, like the palm of the hand of a man. So the heavens are also called Kapayim, but it can also mean palms, the palm of the hand. Huva b'Gemara per Gimel Rosh Hashanah daf chavav Amud Beis. So this pasuk is brought in Gemara Rosh Hashanah to turn our hearts towards Hashem in heaven. So it says Mar Savar b'Rosh Hashanah. So Mar holds, his opinion is that on Rosh Hashanah, Kol ma de pashit inishtayte tfei malya, that anyone who spreads out their mind further, that's better. So what does this mean? The pashit inishtayte, so to remove oneself. So pashit can also mean like to take off clothing, showed your garment. So if you're doing that to your mind, so it means that you're not concentrating on one thing, you're taking off that idea. So Efshar Lomar, we can say the pashit inishtayte, that a person, what does this mean? That a person takes off one's mind, levavenu love, that is, you're not concentrating on anything else other than him, to intend unto him, levavenu love midosav, that you're intending towards Hashem and not to his midos and not to the attributes. Your dot is you push it, your das, you push it, your das, only towards Hashem, only towards essence. Afal pi shamru. And even though our sages said, that why are Israel crying out and not being answered? Because we don't know how to have intention properly with the Shem Hashem, with the name. Look what's brought about this in the Siddur before Shmona Esrei, that it's brought in Sifri, that you have to dive in towards him and not to his attributes. But we can say, that in Rosh Hashanah you don't need this. You can turn directly towards Hashem. It needs to be looked into. That's why it's brought in Gemara Rosh Hashanah. This pasuk is levavenu Kapayim bashamayim, that we lift our hearts towards Hashem, meaning just towards Hashem, not to the attributes. That maybe in Rosh Hashanah you don't need to be mekavin in the shame, but can have a simple pashut, Kabbalah soul, and turn directly towards Hashem. Now, in Derech Mitzvah Secha, in Mitzvahs Tefillah, in the end, the Tzemach Tzedek explains that even though it's better to be mekavin b'shem, certainly you can be mekavin directly towards Hashem. But that the conclusion there in Derech Mitzvah Secha seems to be that if you do, or if you are able to be mekavin b'shem, certainly it's better. Beis Betainis Perekama Tavches Amud Aleph in Tfilaso Shel Adam Nishmas, that says in Gemara Tainis that a person's prayer is only heard Elim Kain Misim Nafsho Bechapav, only if a person places their soul in their palms. Shneamar Nesa levavenu el Kapayim, that we like it says, we lift up our hearts into our palms. If Shalom, or we can say, so that's like if a person, like by Milchama, it says the person has to place their nefesh in their bekapav, that you're, so to speak, you don't care anymore about your life. You're willing, you place it in your hand, and you go and you fight, and it's not something that's still inside of you that you're caring about, but rather you, so to speak, put it aside for the moment, and in order so that you can fight the battle. So, if a person places their soul in their palms, the person, meaning to say, a person is willing to give it all, like to go all out, just in order to truly devote yourself and give up your life towards Hashem. So Efshalom, we can say Al Derech Mashikazab L'Kudei Torah Dibur HaMaschil Azinu HaShamayim Dirusha Sheni V'Zeh Lashono. It says in Hazino in the L'Kudei Torah V'Inyan Mesiras Nefesh Shenu Kemo Shesovrim Ha'olam, that the concept of self-sacrifice is not like the world holds. Shuhu Atzaka Bihislavus Birash, that it's a concept of crying out with a flaming noise, with a noise like a flaming fire. Energetically, Elahu Kemoshi Kasuvei Lecha Hashem Nafshi Asa, but it's rather, it's like the Pasuk, to you Hashem I lift my soul. That is, that you don't want to be something separate, an existence for yourself, but to be in a state of nullification. To lift up your soul and your spirit to may be blessed. So that's the idea of it's a concept of self-sacrifice and nullifying oneself, not a great noise and crying out and yelling, but rather a state of bittul, nullification. We can say el Kapayim beis kafin. We can say towards the what does it mean towards the Kapayim? That's the two kafs. And beis bechinas shebekeser. Those are the two concepts in keser. Kaf is Rosh Tevet keser. And imshachim adei beis omkim shebelev, that are drawn to the two depths of the heart. So it says Nesa levavenu. It doesn't say libenu. It says levavenu, two concepts in the heart. El Kapayim, into two kafs, into two concepts of keser. Atingenarich, through the two depths of the heart. Even though there's a Sarah. I'm not sure what the two omkim in the lev, but maybe it's just the concept of the nefesh elokis, nefesh bahamis, like levavenu, like the two levav. Gimel tiny stuff yudvav amar aleph. Now in Gemara Tainis it says she modiv ozav yirucham, that if somebody is admits and stops their averas, they'll be have mercy on them. Now in the Gemara there it brings the pasuk first, that a person has to stop michamas asher bechapehem. Like in Yonah, it says that they left the chamas that was in their palms, the stealing, the averas that they had in their hands, they left. And then it compares also somebody who says vidoy, who admits they did an avera, but still didn't do tshuva, doesn't regret it or whatever, isn't going to stop. So that's like a tovel v'sheretz biyado. So he has it's like somebody goes to the mikvah with something impure still in their hand. So mudiv ozev, somebody admits and leaves it. They let go of that avera. So that's the concept of il kapayim. Shenamar nasas levavenu il kapayim, like it says, we lift up our hearts to our hands. Im hakapayim tzarich lisa halev l'shamayim. So with one's palms, a person has to lift up their hearts towards heavens. Bechiraim. So bechiraim. So I'm not sure what bechiraim is. But the point is that you have to let go of, you have to look at what you're done wrong with your hands, and with that you lift up your heart towards heaven. Beis bechinas ayin. So he translates with that kapayim is. So kiraim could be like an oven with two holes. So, but anyways, he says beis bechinas ayin, two concepts of naught, two concepts of nothing. Kapayim is the plural. That you have to lift yourself up in a state of nullification. V'akudim shelamayla min nikudim, and this is a concept of the world of akudim. It's higher than nikudim. Nikudim is tohu, and akudim is higher than tohu. but he doesn't elaborate. Exactly how this corresponds with akudim. Maybe like Kapayim, when you tie your hands, like Yitzchak Avinu, his hands were tied where they were, his Kapayim were tied together. Maybe so. It's a concept of akudim. So if it's like a korban, so then it's akud, it's tied. So maybe that's this pasuk Nesa levavenu al Kapayim. Ima Kapayim. Anyways, Daled Yerushalmi Perek Beis de Tainis Halacha Aleph. It's brought in Gemara Yerushalmi in Tainis. Darash Rabbi Bo Bar Zavda. Nesa levavenu al Kapayim. It says, lift up our hearts towards the Kapayim. V'efshakain. Is that possible? Isbar Nasivli Yahav Biyadei. Can a person take their heart and place it in their hands? Ela Nesa levavenu lekaf yadeinu. But rather we should lift up our hearts towards the palms of our hands. And afterwards, our hearts towards the heavens. Meaning to say, first you turn your hearts towards your palms, and then you turn your hearts towards the heavens. It's not that you turn your hearts towards your palms and then you give the palms to the heavens. You don't take your heart in your hand. That's not what it means. Rather, it's a nasim libenu lekaf yadenu line memasha bekaf yadenu. The explanation is that you have to place your heart towards the palms of your hands to check out and look at what is in the palms of our hands. Mina gezel v'achamas, from the stealing and doing bad to others. Ad kan lashon, that's the end of the quote. So that's how it explains this pasuk in Yerushalmi Tainis. Hey, Bilkutei Torah b'shira shirim dibur al maschil tzenu reina perek beis kasav v'hineksiv seu yedechem kodesh. It's brought in tzenu reina that it's written, lift up your hands to the holy. So you have a concept of the hands being lifted up. So the connection to Kapayim is that you have two hands. Beis yadayim in beis psukim shel kriya shema. The two hands correspond with the two verses of Shema. Of Kriya Shema, Shema Yisrael b'shach malav, the Shema and the Baruch Shem. Those are the two hands. Chulu ki dura yamina v'yaminu techabkeni chulu, because the right arm is that your right holds me and hugs me. B'chinas yichud etata. Hidroa smala, and the concept of the lower unity, that's the left arm. So the right arm would be the Shema Yisrael, and the left arm, and the Yichud Eilah, and the left arm is the Yichud Etata, the lower unity, Chulu, and so forth, the Baruch Shem. Bittel b'metzias and bittel ayesh. Beis b'chinas yadayim elu, and these two hands, these two arms, hanesius v'allah l'kodesh al yon chulu, they're lifted up and elevated to supernal holy, to the concept of the yichudim. Kodesh Elyon in general is Chachma, so it's because Kriya Shema is a yichud of Chachma Bina. But Nesias Yadayim is in general a concept of the Birchas Kohanim, which is to draw down from Keser. Gamal Derech is where B'dibur HaMaschil L'cheinem Mor Levnei Yisrael B'nyan Asher Nasasi Es Yadi. There it says that I swore, not that Hashem, when Hashem, so to speak, swears something, or when someone swears, it's that by lifting up your hands. So here you have again Nesa el Kapayim al derech mashal shayad yochel laharim manofel arza, because someone's hand can lift up someone who falls down to the earth, lusum lamayla al rosho, and to lift them up and up on their head. So when Hashem says Asher nasasi es yadi, to say to Bnei Israel that I lifted up my hand, meaning to say that I've lifted you up from the ground over my head. So it's an expression of Hashem's love for Bnei Israel when He says say to Bnei Israel that I lifted my hand. Is that He lifted up Bnei Israel from the bottom to top. So that's two perushim, and so one, this concept of el Kapayim, that you lift up the hands, is compared to Shema, the two hands in Shema, the right hand and the left hand that are hold and hug, and that's Yichud Elah and Tata. And the second is another idea is that this is a concept of el Kapayim is like Siri Dechem Kodesh, like the Birchas Kohanim. And another idea is that Nesas Yadi is to lift something from the ground upwards, and that he brings from on the verse Lechenim or Levnei Yisrael. Vayinsham be'abir daf tzadik tesuf amar aleph, and look in the beer on Lechenim Emor as well.